The art of repair. What actually heals after conflict? Every couple argues, every relationship ruptures, but not every couple repairs. And that's the difference between bonds that are strengthened and ones that silently bleed out. In this episode of Rise Up Voices from the Front Lines, a relationship reset edition, we're diving into what real repair looks like, why it matters, and how to actually do it. We're not talking band-aids or fluffy apologies. We're talking nervous system rituals, tactical language, and the kind of reconnection that rewires trust at the cellular level. You do not need a perfect relationship. You need a resilient one. One that knows how to come back, even after the slam of a door, even after the silence stretches too long, even after words you can't take back hang in the air like ash. Let's talk about something most of us were never taught: how to repair after conflict. Because rupture is inevitable, but repair, that is a skill, that's a choice, that's a muscle that you have to train. Why repair matters more than fighting fair, even though you can definitely learn some skills there too. Here's something straight from the Gottman Institute. Even the happiest couples fight. They hurt each other. They say the wrong thing. They shut down. But the difference, they know how to come back with unconditional positive regard. That's the belief that no matter what just happened, your partner is not your enemy. That the relationship is worth fighting for, not about. And that belief, that mindset, it rewires your nervous system for safety. It rebuilds trust. The couple who called it quits until they didn't. I worked with a couple once. Let's call them Jason and Ellie. They came to me mid-standoff. 15 years of marriage, 2 kids, living like polite strangers. Not because of infidelity, not because of any major traumas, but because every rupture over the years had gone unrepaired. One comment here, silent treatment there, nothing outrageous, but enough to build scar tissue so thick they couldn't even feel each other anymore. We didn't start by teaching communication skills, though we did go through those later. We started by teaching the art of repair, how to recognize dysregulation, how to name the pattern without blame, how to say, I want to reconnect. I'm not proud of how I'm handling this. Can we try again? And little by little, they didn't just feel hope, they felt safe with each other for the first time in years. So what real repair looks like? Let me be really clear. Repair is not saying I'm sorry so that you can move on. It's nervous system to nervous system connection. It's attunement. It's felt safety. And here's what that looks like in the real world. I noticed I shut down when you raised your voice. I want to stay present. Can we slow this down? I was reactive. That wasn't about you. I'd like to reconnect when I'm grounded. You looked hurt when I said that. Can I try again in a different way? Repair is not about taking blame for things that are not yours. It's about taking responsibility for the space between you, for the way that your nervous system is impacting theirs. So here's some tactical repair tools. You know, I don't do theory without practice. So let's talk tools. The tactical pause. If you are dysregulated, you're not going to repair anything. Step away, breathe, walk, shake it out. Say, I need 10 minutes. Then I'll come back and try again. Always do what you say you're going to do. If you say you'll come back in 10, come back in 10 and use the bridge phrase. Come back with a sentence that opens the door. I want to repair. I don't want to stay disconnected. Or even, I don't know what to say yet, but I want to stay with you. Drop the defensiveness. Repair is not about defending your intent. It's about honoring the impact. Even if you didn't mean it, it still landed. Own it. Ritualize it. have a phrase, a gesture, a repair ritual. One couple I worked with presses their foreheads together after an argument, even before they speak. The ritual says we're still a team. Why this is hard, but worth it. If this feels hard, that's because it is, especially if you grew up in a home where conflict meant withdrawal, volatility, or stonewalling. Your body might resist repair because it's never known safety after rupture, but that doesn't mean that you can't learn it. This is what we do in Relationship Reset. We rewrite the nervous system script for what happens after conflict. We normalize return. We train for reconnection. Let me give you one more piece of real world impact so you see how this works more clearly. The hand on the chest tool. A first responder I coached once told me that when his wife places her hand gently on his chest after a fight, it short circuits his instinct to flee. That touch, simple and intentional, reminds his body that he's not in combat, that he's safe enough to stay, to soften, and to repair. This isn't fluff. This is science-backed, trauma-informed, real-life, tactical, emotional intelligence. So here's just a few final thoughts to reinforce the important stuff. You will fight. You will rupture. You will say things you don't mean and feel things that scare you. But the power isn't in avoiding the pain. It's in coming back with presence, with skill, and with love. We may break, but we can rebuild. That's what creates safety. That's what builds intimacy. That's what it means to rise up together. See you in the Rise Up Relationship Reset.